This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
Good evening and welcome to the Unprofessional Professional Sports Show. I'm your host, B.A. Along with me is Keith Engel from TGI Sports Talk and, of course, our always good co-host, James Martin. How you fellas doing today?
Fabulous.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I almost was going to really start off the show bad because I was going to say, well, we're bowless and tipless, but that would
that would have been great for the show.
But since I've already said it, there you go. Anyway,
I don't know. The last time Bo was missing, the show was very professional. I don't think we need Bo missing.
Yeah. Bo's famous right now, so he's doing a lot of stuff.
And since Tip's been gone, we really have moved the needle toward professionalism, and that needs change. So where's Tip?
Bo needs to come in here and just tip the scale. There you go. Anyway, so yesterday was the trade deadline for the NFL. Some surprising trades, as a matter of fact. The biggest one was the Sauce Gardner to Indianapolis. Indianapolis filled a great, they overkilled that need for a cornerback with that guy. Hopefully a change of scenery will help Sauce out a little bit better. He has been not playing the best over the last season or two, so I think maybe he just needs a change of environment, and he'll be okay. Especially on a team like Indianapolis that they're playing really good now. Another one was they're coming to get you. The Cowboys acquired Quinnen Williams, too. The Jets are having like a fire sale, I guess, going on here. That's really good for the Cowboys. If they ain't got an excuse not to stop the run now. They have three incredibly great defensive linemen. So trying to run through there is going to be like trying to run through the wall of China there. So I don't know. Yeah, they gave up Motsy Smith. There was a second-round pick and a first-round pick given up to the Jets. So that's going to help the Jets in the future. For 2 first rounds and two first rounds and
what?
Yeah, 2006 first round and a 2007 first round pick and a second round. And wide receiver A.D. Mitchell goes to the Jets for Sauce. I think that the Jets are just trying to put it. I know a lot of people are like, oh, why did they trade those two? Those are supposed to be cornerstones of their defense. But I think what AG is trying to do is establish who the guys they want in there, basically. Kind of like I said, the blueprint is the same as what the Lions did when Dan Campbell came in. So I think that's what they're doing right now. And they're set for at least 2-3 years as far as getting high draft picks. So that should help them out, hopefully.
If you hit winners on the draft picks, yes.
Exactly. That's true.
Yeah, you just traded 2 guys that they have identified as, again, maybe they just want to change culture, get their own people in there. But, when you look at it at face value, you think, well, we're admitting that, we missed on these picks. So why would I be confident, if I'm a Jet fan, that they're going to do any better with the picks they just acquired? And with that said, I like Sauce Gardner a lot. I think with a change of scenery, I think you're going to see some better football out of him. And I think the Colts, at least in the short term, win on this trade. Maybe in the long term, they don't. But when you're where the Colts are, you got to play for now. Right. They're a really good football team. This really, I think, might be the move that puts them over the top. We'll see. I like Sauce a lot. And I know Jet fans have been down on him, but I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in Indianapolis.
Yeah, Sauce still has the sauce in the mix. I think he's going to be a real good duo with Travarius Ward. I think they should definitely help be bookends in that secondary. I like the move for Indianapolis, and I also like the move for the Jets. I mean, they know where they are right now. They got two extremely talented players that they got off their books, and what they were paying them high end money. So that frees up the cap space as well. And so I think that the situation with two first round draft picks, man. Let me tell you, they're going to be low for the Indianapolis Colts, but for Cowboys, I mean, they're going to be mid somewhere to high for them, and so they'll have a really high draft pick for themselves for 2026, and then they'll have a really high draft pick probably again, by all intents and purposes, with the Jets for 2027, and so. They made out like a fat rat, like you said though, Keith. I mean, whether or not they hit, but they have options. They can trade out. Somebody might want to get up in those spaces, and they can collect more value by moving back and acquiring a boatload of later first or early seconds and thirds, and just build their team that way.
It's again, I totally understand the thinking of the Jets doing both of these moves or any moves that they've made up to this point. But as a Jet, if somebody is a Jet fan, I mean, I'm looking at it as like, man, we're starting over again. How many times are we going to reset, hit the reset button here, which seems to be like every 2 or 3 years, the Jets are hitting the reset button. And again, fan bases don't like that as a rule. So hopefully they can make something out of this mess that they have right now, and I hope they are patient with a guy like Aaron Glenn. I think he gets a long leash because of his ties to the organization, and I think his history coming in here as a coach. Some of the guys may not get that leash. I'd win a game or two here and there, though. Might make it safer for him.
Well, he has done that so far once, so that's good. Yeah. The only problem I have with that whole situation, I understand where they're going. But the GM is not Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes is a very good, he drafts well, and I don't know too much about their GM. I don't know how long is that. Anybody know how long the GM has been there for on the Jets?
I want to say he is in his 4th year. Let me take a look. GM. Let's see what we got here. Sorry. He just came in. Their GM's been there since January. So
okay. New regime.
That's
right.
He replaced Joe
By any
Douglas.
chance, since you clicked up on there, did you see where he came from?
He came from the Broncos. 12 years with the Broncos before being hired by the Jets. Assistant general manager part of that time, most recently.
And that's probably why it was easy to let go of those big marquee players, because he had no ties to them at all.
Yeah. And that's, you know what? Look at it. Maybe they should have done that before the season. I don't know. It's hard. I know if you do it, and maybe it's easier to do it when you have a whole new regime coming in. Your GM's brand new. Your coach is brand new. With the quarterback situation, I think it was pretty obvious they weren't going a long ways. Jack's excited about this news. It seemed like yesterday they're going to own the draft. It wasn't his comment. They're going to own the draft for the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty right. I mean, it's just whether or not they can do anything with it is the question.
They hold a lot of cards. It's how you play them is important as well. So it'll be fun to watch. But I think it would have gone easier with the fan base if they'd done this, I think, before this season and not now. Right. But,
well, the only problem is, I think the argument would be that it's like you're coming in with the new regime, and you got your quarterback. Why can't you, try to win? But then, of course, now you're 1-8. What are they? 1-8? Yeah.
1-8, I think.
1-7. Yeah. So with that said,
they had a bye week last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 1-7, and now you get rid of these players, but you should have some high hope with what you've accumulated thus far.
They should be in the top 3 as far as draft pick is concerned by the end of the year. Like I said, it's the only thing this GM, I hope that he has good draft history behind him, because like I said, it's the stars aligned for the Lions, and when they got Brad Holmes, because he was known for that, really good draft analyst on that. And we got a whole bunch of good players just from the first trades that we did with the Rams. So, I mean, if that guy can do that for the Jets, that'll be plus.
Well, if he's part of those drafts for the Broncos the last few years, they've had some pretty good drafts the last 2-3 years at least. So I think that does bode well, I guess, for the Jets. So
again, he was the assistant GM, though. Who knows how much of that he.
No, I'm just saying he was part of the process, right?
Yeah,
obviously, he
that's
wasn't
true.
right. He wasn't pulling the trigger. But.
A couple of trades from your team there, James. The Chargers acquire offensive lineman Trevor Penning from the Saints for a 2027 6th-round pick, and also the Seahawks acquired wide receiver Rashid Shaheed for a 2026 4th and 5th-round pick. How do you feel about those trades?
All right, Trevor Penning, good riddance. What a total bust. I mean, we traded up for him to get him at number 18 overall, and out of a small school in North Iowa. And he played left tackle, played right tackle, was poorly rated at both. I mean, was just abysmal. And then got moved in once we drafted our bookend tackles, got moved into guard this season. And he was very lowly rated as a guard, left guard. And so we were lucky, I think, to be able to trade him to get a 2027 conditional 7th, I think 7th round. 2027, not 2026, 2027.
The 6th-round pick.
Yeah, sixth round pick. Yes. Mm-hmm. So we were lucky to get that, I think, and more than likely, he's probably going to have to play tackle again, because they're missing some players in LA. So good luck to them. The bittersweet one is Rashid Shaheed. Let's start from the beginning. My man was out of Weber State, undrafted. We found a gem with him, and he had tore his ACL, which I'll get to that in a minute, in college. So he was just coming off an injury, and we started playing late that season. And his first play of the game, 44-yard jet sweep, touchdown. Mm-hmm. And so you're like, wow, where'd this kid come from? And he's averaging like 17, 20 yards a pop each season. And he's all pro in his second year for kick returns, special teams. Great guy, take the top of a defense guy. Only con I have for him is that he could never play a full season. He was often injured, and he cannot break off of a DB to make contested catches. So those are the cons. But I mean, what Seattle's probably going to use him for, I think he's in a great place and he's teaming up with his old GM. I mean, not GM, but offensive coordinator in Kubiak. Mm-hmm. Yep, Clint Kubiak. And so they're going to use him and create open spaces. You remember what he did with Kubiak the first game against Dallas last year, and it was just impressive. So I think he'll do good for them. My only con would be is that he definitely will have some issues with injuries. Danny, will the Saints win this week? I don't know, man. I'm not. I didn't pick them last week to win, of course, and not having a couple of key players that were starters, that might be a little tough going into Carolina against a team that can run the ball on you. So I don't know. I would probably lean more towards Carolina than New Orleans.
I'm rooting hard for him just so my phone won't explode all day Sunday and Monday.
Oh my God.
it's gonna happen.
Jesus,
Anyway.
that thing's gonna light on fire with some of the. Damn, man.
Well, she did say we're gonna get sick of her.
Oh my goodness!
Saying
Like they're winning the Super Bowl.
I gotta win. That's all I know is I gotta win. So. Anyway, I'm Rashid myself. Listen, and you can speak to this more than I can, obviously, and you have James. Injuries seem to be a bugaboo with him from time to time. And also, I think expectations, because he had to fill in for guys that were injured and had to step up. And I think as a third guy, he's a really good guy to have on your team, third or fourth receiver, if he can return kicks still like he did in the past. But when you ask him to step up and be more than that, I think you're asking a lot of this kid. So I do think he'll thrive in a situation where he isn't, or doesn't have to carry more of the load. I think when Michael Thomas was healthy and they had other options that were healthy there, he was a better player, right, and a better fit for any offense. So
he's not going to be, because they still got JSN.
Torrey Horton and Cooper Kupp.
Torrey Horton and Cooper Kupp. So he's going to be an option to take off the top of the defense.
It's a good spot.
Basically.
Yeah, I think it's a good spot for him.
Especially with that offense that they got right there. I mean,
right.
I think Seattle improved a little bit better on their offense with that trade. They're a very good team right now anyway.
Really good.
Like every week we have this is a Super Bowl contender. Every week we have a new Super Bowl contender in the NFC. I don't know what's going on. But
now it's Carolina.
I think it was a smart move for Seattle to be able to solidify their chances of trying to get to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I definitely like the move for them. And I like the move for the Saints. I mean, we have a conditional fourth round coming probably for what's the cornerback's name? I can't think. We lost him to the Giants. Paulson Adebo. So likely a fourth round conditional will be coming in, but we have a definite fourth round selection, but it's probably going to be late because Seattle's, they're going to be really good.
Accumulating those picks, a lot of fans get wrapped up in we didn't get a high enough draft pick for this guy, that guy. They get wrapped up in ones and twos, but you really win in the drafts when you hit home runs in the fourth and fifth round. And the more picks you can have there, the better. I think teams get really better that way. So Thomas was never healthy himself. He's right. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
it changed. Let me tell Rich. Yeah, he was never healthy once he had that major injury.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, he was like rock solid. He was a total dominant ball player. Yeah.
So with the Cowboys also, they signed Quentin Williams. They also got linebacker Logan Wilson. Do you feel that makes their defense at least applicable? I mean, I know it's two players aren't going to change the whole defense, obviously. But when you have arguably the best defensive lineman in the NFL on the team, you still got Clark on there, and they got the guy that they just signed at the beginning of the season that's on there. I mean, Jerry's actually saying he's making sure that nobody's running up the middle on him. I can see that right now. Nobody's running on him. He didn't want to improve that. He went out there and did that. So I think that's a small step for victory for Dallas. Other than that, they need a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, he apparently closed that big oil deal that was keeping him from progressing his defense, which is good. Listen, he got a really good player, and I think it's important that the offense is good enough. I didn't show it here. Obviously, the other night they were awful. But I think the offense is good enough to contend. And I think sending the right message to your team at this point in time that you're at least trying to win is part of the battle as well. And I think he did send that message to the rest of the team. And hopefully, if you're a Dallas fan, hopefully it helps you move forward. This is a year. I mean, the East is not as good as we thought it was going to be, right? With the Redskins down,
completely not,
right? And the Eagles. They have played really good football, but it doesn't feel like they're, at least not yet, the Eagles that we saw at the end of last year. There's a chance for them to get into the playoffs and lose, of course, but at least they'll get to the playoffs. So I think the message he sends the rest of the team is important as well as getting a really good football player in Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I see Danny's taking shots at you now.
Now?
Well, this show, I'll put it to you that way. This show, he's starting off with you. Other trades that were made to cornerback Jasir Taylor went to the Jets for a 2028 seventh round pick. Let's see. The Bears acquired defensive end Tyron Shoyinka for the Browns 2026 sixth round pick. They got back. Let's see. We got the Jaguars. Oh, that's the other big trade too. Jaguars acquiring Jacoby Myers for the 2026 fourth round and sixth round pick. I still can't believe it. Jaguars right now for some reason. I can't.
No.
I can't.
I think I feel bad for Jacoby. I would like him to come home is what I'd like. And, I still can't forgive Belichick at the end of his time there, letting Jacoby go and bring for about $1 million he saved by bringing in what's his face came from the Steelers. I can't remember his name now. I think he's back with the Steelers or he's back with Kansas City. Guys who know what I'm talking about.
Jalen Ramsey?
No.
The receiver?
Yeah. What the heck am I thinking about? Somebody will tell us.
Well, Christian Kirk.
No. Three names. That's terrible. This is the downside of being 65.
This is from Jacksonville you're talking about?
No. They signed as a free agent. When they let Jacoby go as a free agent like 3 years ago, they went to the Raiders. It was over about $1 million they didn't want to pay Myers, and they paid this guy from Kansas City. He's back with Kansas City now, I think.
You talking about not Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yes, Juju.
Oh, yeah.
Juju. He was horrible in New England. He was awful. I've wanted them to find a way to get Jacoby Myers very.
He was with the Steelers. Yeah, you're right.
Jacoby's very underrated. I don't know that he's going to a better situation though, Brian. To kind of jump on what you were talking about. I don't know that he's going to a better situation in Jacksonville than he's leaving in Las Vegas because Lawrence is completing less than 60% of his passes, and their passing game is not exciting. I don't think this is for him. He's a loser. Maybe the Raiders.
It was Schuster.
Yeah, it was Schuster. But they get a fourth and fifth pick, so I think the Raiders kind of win here. But I'm not sure about Jacoby. I think he's a loser having to go to this Jacksonville team.
No, I disagree. I disagree because he's going to get the opportunity to be a viable, and he's going to a very good offensive coordinator / coach in Liam Cohen. I think he's going to get him some touches, man, and he's going to revitalize his career because he went to Dumpsterville when he was with the Raiders, man. And he didn't want to be there. He kept complaining that he wanted to get traded, and they wouldn't trade him, and finally they put him on a team. Brian Thomas Jr. is going to get double teamed. You saw what it was doing for Travis Hunter. He was starting to play really well. I think Jacoby Myers is going to get some. For fantasy owners, he's going to be really good. I think he can play.
The problem is
he can play.
He doesn't have a good quarterback to throw in the football anymore than he had in Vegas. I'm not a high on Lawrence at all anymore, and I was for a long time.
I agree with you to some degree, but I think the biggest thing out there for Geno Smith is that his offensive line is crap. I think the offensive line is a little bit better out here. I just think I agree with you to some degree. I think Trevor Lawrence, he's as considered as a number one overall, he's a bust. As a number one overall player being picked in the NFL, he's a bust. But he still can play. So I think they're going to have some. They're going to have a much improved offense. And Jacksonville, I think, that's going to help them get some wins too. They are in the AFC South, so they should. Stroud is out. With a concussion. Who's the guy that's starting for him? Davis Mills.
Team is hurt.
Yeah, I'm not. Well,
the offense, offensively speaking, for Houston, it's not a very good look. But their defense, I think their defense is going to stop Jacksonville from doing just about anything that they want. That defense is just freaking nuts, and the fact that they let off the pedal when Bo Nix went down there in the fourth quarter and got that winning field goal. I was kind of upset about that fact. I said, dude, you got to play that 60 minutes, man. You can't just sit there and just play, 45 minutes of football and think the other 15 minutes is going to come free because you're playing well. No, this is another high quality AFC team. So you're going to have to go through it. But I think they might have learned from that situation too. There's a heartbreaking loss for them.
You got to score touchdowns to win in this league. You can't kick, 5 field goals. As a rule, you're not going to win. So
trust me, as a Saints fan, I know this. Thank you.
Denver didn't do much better, but it is what it is.
Now they got one more though. I mean, again, as a rule, you can win a game that way, right? But unless they start giving you 5 points for 68 yarders, I guess maybe they can start.
And Olave's not going nowhere, Carlos. So any of that dream scenario is not going to happen because they're getting ready to sign him, I believe, right, James?
Yeah, it would have happened yesterday if they got rid of him. They're not going to. I mean, they already, even a couple of weeks ago, they mentioned that they're in communication about signing him long term. So yeah, definitely. And unfortunately, the question is, do you sign him as a number 1 or number 2? Saints still don't have a number 1 in the building. Chris Olave is not a number 1 receiver. He's an excellent number 2. He would be, a great number 2, and he should get number 2 money. But unfortunately, I think because of the situation, some team's going to want him in the off season. They're probably going to sign him to number 1 money, and that's just overpaying for him.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah, and then to this point too, the running game for the Jags is not the greatest either. I just something's not sitting right with me with the Jags. I want to believe in them, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to. I mean, you beat San Francisco, and then you get then you almost lose to the Raiders. I mean, I think
they still have glimpses of being Jagoffs instead of Jaguars.
The tight end, there's a couple of players they need to get rid of.
Well, this might be
it seems like every year they have to do that to me.
They didn't fire the GM last year before they hired a coach, right? Am I remembering that correctly? They kept the GM, or I think they kept the GM and he hired the new coach, which means you're going to keep a lot of the players that the GM had brought in here. And this might be another situation where they're going to have to get players that fit this head coach's vision of this team. And Trevor Lawrence and a lot of these other guys may not be part of that vision. So we'll see.
Speaking of AFC East teams, Eagles are AFC East or NFC East teams. Get it together here, Brian. Eagles acquire defensive end Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins for a 2026 third round pick. I think there was a lot of moves that were based on desperation. I think that was one of them for Philadelphia. They don't have a very good pass rush right now, so they had to get somebody to at least try to get a pass rush going. The same case with the Chargers getting Penny. They had to have somebody to shore up that offensive line. I still don't think that's good enough to do it. But
you don't think Jalen Phillips is good enough for a third rounder?
No. I'm just saying that they gave up a third round. Well, no, not necessarily. I think it could have been at least a fourth. But
okay,
like I said, it was still out of desperation though. They still had to get a pass rusher out of desperation. Yeah. They're coming into a stretch where they're going to be playing a lot of decent teams.
Desire Alexander is definitely a reach, I think, because he's only played 2 games for a 6th rounder, and he was a healthy scratch most of the games that he was on with the Ravens, and so that might have been really a big reach. But they don't have another guy to play outside of Quinyon Mitchell. They needed somebody.
I like the Phillips trade for the Eagles. Again, maybe we can quibble over the draft picks, right? But I think he's a guy who will benefit greatly from a change of scenery. He's a really good player, and I think he's a guy who's probably suffered from the malaise that's going on down there in Miami. So I look for him to finishing kick here for the Eagles.
Absolutely, and I think being next to Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and having another bookend on the other side. And I think Nolan. What's the kid's name out of Georgia? The uh,
I know what you're talking about. The linebacker. Well,
he's
linebacker
come
slash
off. He's come
defense
off of
end.
IR. He's ready to play, and
Yep.
you got and then they Graham, they got him back off out of retirement. Is he
Hmm.
back?
Yeah,
So
he's
I
back.
mean, these guys will be rotational. I think it's going to rejuvenate Jalen Phillips, man. I think he'll be excited, especially
That whole
when you're in a
defensive
winning
line should be
culture.
fine.
You're in a winning culture too. That's another thing that will lift your spirits big time. And that'll elevate your play as well. I mean, isn't he a former first round draft pick?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah.
he can play. I think he can play. I think it's a good change of, like he said, change of environment is everything.
Yeah, and that's what good things about some of these trades. The change of environment should invigorate a lot of these players. I don't know too much about defensive end Joe Tyrone Shoyinka from the Browns. I don't know how good he was over there. They have a good defense anyway. If anything else, the Browns have is a good defense. So, hey, yeah, that's another thing I want to ask. I know a lot of people were down the Lions because they didn't get anybody. I look at it like this: if your team feels that they're fine at the way they are and they're a contender, then you got to go along with it. A lot of people just like to play Madden with these trades and stuff like that. I don't necessarily. I don't think, me personally, I didn't think that the Lions needed to do anything. They probably could have went out there and get an offensive lineman, but that's a two-way street, and those are far and too few. In the NFL to try to go out and get in the trade deadline, and then you'd be paying too much. And I'm sure Brad Holmes went out there and did his best, job to try to get one. But if they're paying too much, the Lions are not going to, mess up their future just to get one player. That's not happening.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of teams are like that. And speaking from a guy whose team did the same thing and did nothing, I am disappointed did nothing because you've got a young team with a young quarterback who's an MVP contender, and suddenly your team is potentially a real contender, but you didn't go out and add any firepower for this kid, and they could have because they were in talks with Olave. I never say his name right. Olave. Say it again.
Olave.
Olave.
Thank you. Once I hear it, I'm good for like one time. Olave. They were in play for Myers, but Myers was really kind of redundant with Stephon Diggs. I mean, they're playing the same game right now. But Olave would have really improved this offense, and they didn't want to pay whatever price there was out there, which they're well under the cap. So it's not about money. It's about the draft picks. And I don't want to mortgage your future for that either. But if this team runs out of gas and the offense runs out of gas either before the playoffs or during the playoffs, they may regret not going out and getting another piece for this really good young quarterback. We'll see.
He would have taken definitely a second round, and they probably don't want to give that up.
My guess is they would not give up the draft pick. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me address a couple of comments here in the sections here. You can't trade based on reaction. And see, last week was an anomaly. The Lions just played bad. That was their game. They gave that game up, and they still almost won the game. But they played horrible in all three facets of the game. They played horrible. So I mean, that'll just. And then Rick here, the Vikings exposed. No, you did not expose that. If anybody exposed it, it was the Green Bay Packers. But then again, that interior line is a mess right now. Anyway, when it is what it is. Like last year, I had this comparative analysis on my last show yesterday for One Ass Cheek Three Toes, and it's a drastic difference about the pressures, the sacks, and everything that's going on that offensive line than it was last year when they had Frank Ragnow and they had Zeitler and they had, their line was solidified. So you can tell what needs to be fixed, what needs to be addressed, and it's those three interior linemen, the right guard, the left guard, and the center. And that's where the pressure is coming from. And the Lions know this. And, Goff is not – he's a giraffe. So, I mean, he's not gonna Lamar Jackson you anytime soon. That's for sure.
Well, let me piggyback off what you said in regards to what Rick was saying about interior offensive linemen. One just left from the New Orleans Saints, and he went to the Chargers, and he's terrible. Let me tell you why there's no other offensive lineman that came off the board.
That's right.
Because everybody's holding on to the ones that are good.
Yep.
I mean, the depth players are garbage. There's no good offensive linemen almost throughout the whole league. There's only a few others teams that you can say that are really good, and then there's a complete drop off. I was going
to agree with exactly what you said, James, because that's where I was going to go. The same thing, because there's no sense of making moves just for the sake of making moves. If you're just making lateral moves or just bringing in new faces, there's nobody out there to be had. Good linemen are not just being given away, and they're not going to be because they're.
And you're going to have to spend for them. I mean, an exorbitant amount of draft capital to give. That's where the guy's not really worth it then. Because you're not really making moves future wise for your team. You're putting yourself in a hole for a guy who could potentially get hurt or whatever it may be. Yeah. It's just not good enough. The offensive line play. I don't know what's going on to where offensive linemen are just not as good as they used to be.
Probably not, Brent. Not a third.
Yeah, what
when you trade, you're going. It's just like getting free agents. When you trade, you're giving up a whole bunch for that trade.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Sauce. I mean, it was warranted he got that because he's such a good player, and even with Quinnen Williams. But any other player after that, no. And nobody's giving up an offensive lineman that's awesome. It's not happening.
They have never been at more of a premium than we are now because there's just nobody out there. Nobody's got depth. If you've got a good offensive line, you don't have depth behind them. So if they get hurt, you're screwed. Every team in this league is one injury in their offensive line from being in trouble. If they're not already in trouble. So nobody's giving them away.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if somebody like Orlando Pace or what's the guy that went to Hall of Fame for the Ravens, big 7'8" guy? What was his name? Jonathan Ogden. Can you imagine one of those guys was available now? Man, he'd probably go for 3 first-round draft picks.
Yeah,
or 4. There's no way. I mean, you don't. There's nobody like that now. There's nobody in the league that's just like those guys I just mentioned.
100%.
I mean, I think the thing too, a lot, and see, Lions fans aren't used to success. They're not used to their team being in a Super Bowl contention or even having a Super Bowl. So they go haywire when stuff like this happens at the trade deadline. In fact, there was a lot of Lions fans so mad yesterday about them not making a move. They said, we need to fire Brad Holmes. Oh, you sound like an idiot. But anyway, it's first of all, even if you got somebody, okay, that doesn't guarantee you winning a Super Bowl. It doesn't. Doesn't make it. It puts you closer. No, if you want to get somebody, you want to win the Super Bowl, right? You don't want to get close to it. I'm not understanding the argument perspectives of some of these fans. And let me tell you, Lions fans are like the worst when it comes to stuff like this because they go ham about anything. And I was like, you're not used to success. And then when you get success, now you expect them to be Philadelphia successful, Kansas City successful, New England Patriots successful. This stuff builds. You got to take time and build the program. This is what the Lions are trying to do. People don't want that. We want to win a Super Bowl right now. I'm 56 years old. I'm sure they're going to win one by the time I pass this earth, hopefully. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? They're closer to doing that now than they were 10 years ago. Way closer.
Yeah. Well, we expect immediate results in everything in society today, including sports.
It's a paid electrical bill there.
I thought there was poltergeist or something there myself.
That's what I thought you said. He changed it. There you go.
I'm like, what is that? Yeah, paid.
I wasn't going to say anything in case this isn't really James we're talking to. It was some other entity.
There's Sonia.
No more talking about bad talk about the Panthers.
Right. We have all the bad Panther talk around. Never pay. Well, I mean, that's just to be seen. You guys, I tell you, between you and Bo, man, you don't have the same coordinator you had before. So Pete Carroll's not your head coach no more. That's what was killing us. And
it's a really good
changed it.
It's a really good football team, but you know what? You got to see them play. You know, everybody. You know, it's the same way in college football, pro football. We want to compare teams that don't play each other until they play each other. I can't tell you who's better. I really don't know.
I love
no
this.
class.
No class tonight.
Do you
have class?
That could be a couple different things, right?
Yeah.
Like school in the summertime, no class.
Oh, there you go. So you got some fans there.
There you
so
go. There you go, Sonia. You're happy.
So let's switch our gears up a little bit from the NFL. Keith, the playoff, the NCAA football playoffs came out. What was that? Tuesday.
Tuesdays. I think at 7 is when that show is from now till we're done.
And was there any surprises that you've seen on there?
Not really. I mean, I had said Sunday when I was talking about this that, you know, I didn't expect there to be anything surprising in the first 9 or 10 slots, which I'm not surprised at. The interesting would be at 11, 12, and around that spot. And pretty much they came in where I thought they would. Texas and Oklahoma in that 11 and 12 spot, they both be out. Once you slide in the ACC winner, which would be Virginia right now in the group of 5, which would be Memphis. So they'd be out. So I thought Texas might be in right now, but as I look at it, that would mean I got to drop Notre Dame out, and I don't think I'm doing that. Notre Dame's in. If they don't lose, they're in. They're going to keep moving up because teams are going to keep losing in front of them as well. So I didn't see a lot here. I'm a little surprised. I think maybe at Virginia falling all the way to or only being at were they 14? I thought they might have been up a spot or two. We talked earlier before we went live about the Georgia Tech drop. Surprised me a bit too. This poll would tell you that there's not a lot of respect. That's the thing I take away from this. There's not a lot of respect for the ACC by this committee. And they're not going to get 2 teams in here unless the sky falls in on some of these other teams ahead of them. The ACC is going to have one selection. That's going to be the winner, obviously. A couple teams I'd keep an eye on from the outside. Louisville, ranked right behind Virginia. They still got a chance to win that conference. And what Miami falling as far as they fell really hurts them. They don't have right now. I can't, but again, without something crazy happening, Miami's path to the playoff is really dead. They can win out and it won't matter. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. But listen, even Michigan hasn't passed to this playoff. If they win out and beat Ohio State, they might have an argument to move up here. This season's told us one thing. Don't count on this being where we finish as far as the top 12. Because again, even that group of 5, Memphis has it right now. And I believe they don't show the rankings past 25. I believe they were 26. But
they're not ranked in the top 25. They are 26 actually.
I don't think it's a given anymore, which I and most people have thought the American Conference winner would be this group of 5 selection. I don't think it's a given anymore. James Madison is starting to get some traction and moving up the polls. So has San Diego State. You have to watch out for in the Mountain West. While Tulane and South Florida and now Navy took themselves out last week. So it's still an interesting race, but it's not just between Memphis and South Florida. It's an interesting poll. I mean, not much that I didn't expect to see, though.
Yeah.
Texas Tech was another tough game. BYU. Yeah, there's interesting games in the Big 12. The Big 12 doesn't get enough respect. There's some really good teams in the Big 12. Texas Tech being one of them. BYU is undefeated and up to 7 in this poll. They got to play Texas Tech, who's right behind them in this poll. But that's it's not an elimination game necessarily. But whoever loses this game could put Utah right back in play for being in that Big 12 championship game too. So There's a lot of fun stuff around the country. The main thing I see out of all this is the lack of respect, and maybe rightfully so, for the ACC. Probably right.
Are you, Keith? Are you okay with Alabama being the fourth bye?
Yes, because this will play itself out. It's the first week, right? And there's some controversy there. That's a good call. I mean, there's people saying, Oregon people are arguing about their spot here at 9. But listen, you've got all kinds of time to improve your lot here if you're in the first 10. So I wouldn't worry about it. I think Alabama's probably got the worst loss of the top 10 teams here. I would say they have the worst loss to Florida State as it looks now. But Alabama's playing as good as any of these teams in the country since that game. So, yeah, I'm fine with them being 4.
Okay.
And it's important to remember, right? This would be the 4, right? It's not a given. It's not conference winners get the buys anymore. So the Memphis of the world, last year it was, who was it last year? Boise State. They're not going to get a bye in that first round. It's going to go strictly by the rankings. So, I'm all right with that. Listen, I've had to eat some crow on Alabama and Ty Simpson because I said Ty Simpson, and I said it on this show and every show was on early in the year. I can't believe that they're going to be able to win with this guy at quarterback because fifth-year seniors don't wait 5 years to play if they're any good. They're playing somewhere else. But he's been arguably the best quarterback in the country, the most consistent, if not the best. So,
no, Sonya, LSU is not even making it in the top 25. So
there's a question whether they'll even be allowed to finish out their season is what I heard, Sonia. I don't know whether that's true or not. That's the governor. The governor doesn't want him to play.
Yeah, you got to blame the governor, right? Exactly.
Who elects this guy? By the way, he thinks the taxpayers are paying off the $53 million that they're paying the coach. He thinks that what was the other thing he talked about? Oh, I can't remember what it was. Or some other crazy thing he said. But the governor shouldn't be getting involved in all this because he's got nothing to do with it. I get it. It's a state university, but they have people to do this. Just sit down and, I think you got more important things to worry about than LSU's football team. I hope.
This is Louisiana politics at its best.
Yeah.
Well, he's just piggybacking off our commander in chief about the Redskins. You can't play here unless you change your name to the Redskins, that kind of stuff. But whatever, it is what it is. Everybody piggybacks out. That's a copycat. But that the whole taxpayer thing, and this is a misnomer that people think around the country with these coaches. I've been through it with people I know personally. Like, oh, taxpayers shouldn't be on the hook for all this money. I'm like, they're not. That's the
Lane Kiffin's not. He's not making a lateral move, even though LSU is a powerhouse school. I don't think he's going there. He even said no one wants to live in Baton Rouge.
I'll tell you, though, about Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin will be the highest paid coach in college football, at least for a week, once this all hashes out, because he's either getting a big extension at Ole Miss or he's coaching at Florida or LSU for the biggest contract in the country. He wins in this no matter what he does. I think he's found a nice spot for himself at Ole Miss where he can stay as long as he wants. He's not going to be pressured to win national championships every year like you will at LSU or even Florida. So I think he's found a good spot for himself.
Yeah, but he's got, let me see, I picked LSU, so I feel the same way JTrain does. Thanks, man. Look, I think, yes, 20 million well spent down the toilet. Let me see. Ole Miss is, they're number 6 right now, in the first round of the playoffs. Lane Kiffin's doing an outstanding job there at Ole Miss.
Great job. They be, to me, if I'm worried about those teams in the top 10, they're the team that I'd worry about most staying where they are, and then potentially when they get to the playoffs. So
it's crazy for me because I really was hoping that Navy would do something. That Texas
pick reminder.
North Texas is
Yeah,
very good.
the North Texas game was just
hideous
from the Navy, and then they got to play Notre Dame next. That's not. They're not going to have
Not good.
a chance.
They took themselves out. It's always fun for me. Last year was fun with Army and Navy. Both were in contention for that group of 5 spot for a long while, and Navy staying alive as long as they did is fun too.
It's Miami, Sonia.
I'm a Miami fan. That's correct.
Yeah. The Hurricanes.
I don't know what Robert was saying there. Does anybody pick reminder? What
pick reminder, Keith? Something about picking. I mean, did you pick your college teams on our little thing there yet? Or
yeah, well, probably not. I don't think Robert's in there anyway. But
no.
Robert, he said, "Mind your business."
if he's asking me about who I like. My selections, we talked a lot about preseason polls and how ridiculous they are. Mine I picked Clemson to win a national championship, so there you go.
Well, that's not nice, Sonia.
Wow, that's awful. That's awful.
Hey. I like how you said "don't drown in a tsunami" instead of saying a hurricane, which would be appropriate for the host. But anyway,
yeah, don't tsunamis only happen in Japan or someplace? I mean.
Yeah, we
I guess we could have a tsunami in Miami, I guess.
And that's why there's hope. I mean, if an earthquake happens, I mean, yes.
Yes, the talk of destruction. Love
I have talked so nicely about the Panthers, and Sonia just wants my son's alma mater.
She's got it in for you. She's got it in for you because she's got it. She was going at me, so.
You were taking it tough the other day. I got to tell you were taking it tough. But like a man.
Well, like I said, when people start having to say, "Oh, when were you in the Super Bowl?" You're starting to sound like Dallas Cowboy fans. We're talking about now. We're not talking about 10 years ago. I know Detroit was crummy 10 years ago, but it's got nothing to do with the here and the now, buddy.
Look, everybody can get to the Super Bowl. You got to win. And I'm pretty sure you got the same number of wins as Carolina has. So you're all right. I'll throw myself under the bus for you.
Oh, you saw about that on the CBS app.
Oh, geez. Yeah, those. Yeah. Thank you. Bo's not here. He didn't show up to remind me. We'll do that as we speak, Robert. You're the best. No, Robert, sorry I called you out there. I don't know if I did or not, but somebody said I said shut up.
Be all right. Yeah, that's the reason why she's going off on you there, Keith, because she's still not over that Patriots destruction there.
I gotta be better. I mean, it doesn't matter what time of year you play.
That's all right. You joined the ranks with Buffalo too,
Right. You got 2 to go.
Well, then they beat the Jets though. They beat the Jets and they beat. Didn't they beat Miami? Have they played Miami yet?
Yeah. So they played Miami again. Yeah.
So there you go. Pretty sad though. 40 burgers on both of those teams. But anyway, both of those teams. But anyway, I tell you what though.
Pick right there, Sonia. That's a Panther pick right there.
Yeah, we are all picking. We're all picking. We're all picking the Panthers.
All 3 of us.
Yeah. Yeah, she's. Yeah. But hey, I mean, the Panthers. I mean, they really did impress me by beating the Packers. I mean,
nice win.
I mean, I've been saying the Packers they're not the team everybody thought they were going to be at the beginning of the season. One player's not making that team. You got to play offense, and their offense is just ridiculously bad right now. Well, not bad, but it's not where Green Bay usually is on offense. And then they lost Tucker, or what's his name? Yeah, the tight end. That's really gonna put a bang in their butt there because he's like their go-to guy. They don't have a number 1 receiver. They have all number 2s.
I'd have to look into this kid. I don't know that much about him. Who's this? Has the it factor. I'll check him out. I watched him play a little bit at Navy, and he looked good. I don't know much about him, though. My guess would be undrafted free agent, if off the top of my head.
Yeah, Tucker Kraft. That's what I'm. Yeah. Thank you, Sonia. Yeah. I mean, I think they were going to be. I mean, they're pretty even team. They are. They're either going to be 9-8 or 8-9. they're going to be an even team. They're actually playing to what their record's going to probably be at the end of the season. So they're still not the best team in the AFC South. I think Tampa Bay has that all the way, but
yeah, I think so. In fairness,
Robert, we're not the dumper. We are the big dumper. Thank you.
in fairness, I think we all thought the Panthers, when we talked about this before the season, I think we all saw significant improvement for the Panthers, right? Not playoffs. Yeah. They might make the playoffs.
One thing I want to see more is it's from their quarterback. They need to have a much better play from Bryce Young, and I think he's a good quarterback. I just think I'm not seeing like that within that game. What did he throw for like under 200 yards, like 100 some odd yards? Yeah. Well, it works. That works well when you have a good running game. I mean, Donald did really good against that defense. But when that gets shut down, which I doubt it will for a while, but if you look at who was it, Indianapolis last week, they have a great running game, but they shut down Jonathan Taylor to 45 yards or something like that. Yeah, he had. And then we depended on the quarterback. He threw 3 interceptions. So that's all I'm saying.
So is this team beating the Buccaneers twice? Are they going to beat the Buccaneers at all, I should say, the Panthers? Will they beat the –
They can. I think they can beat them once. I think they might split.
I'm going to say they lose both those games. Are they going to beat the Seahawks at home? I don't think so.
In Seattle, you mean?
No, they're playing in Carolina.
Oh, okay. That's possible.
I think they lose all 3 games to end the season. I really do. I see them beating the Saints twice, the Falcons – losing to 49ers and Rams. I think they finish 8-9.
The before don't count. It's the here and the now.
If I give them one of the Tampa Bay games, then they finish 9-8.
Sonya, I'm giving you a split. I'll give you a split between Tampa Bay.
But that's 9-8. I was looking at Sonia's like, there's no way they're going 9-8. 9-8 would be a good finish. They got a tough road ahead of them here.
Where did they finish last year? Wasn't it 8-9?
Carolina? No.
Yeah. It was like 4 and something, wasn't it?
Yeah, 4-13, I think.
So that's a definite improvement.
A great improvement.
If they get 9-8, yeah.
Should be happy. But that's the thing, and I talk about with Jack this all the time. I'm just trying to take the pressure off you guys. You take all the heat in the text because by the time I get to them, I'm too far behind in a conversation to say anything. Jack and I talked about this a lot. Perspective changes, right? Before the season starts, as a Panther fan or a Patriot fan, you're okay. You go 9-8, make the playoffs and lose a game, you'd be fine. Well, now you move along and you're above 500 already. Maybe you finish with 10 or 11 wins, and now you lose a playoff game and you think it's a disaster because your perspective isn't the same 5 months later. I'm not going to be happy with making the playoffs and losing a game now. Perspective changes. So I get Sonia's excitement over her team. Make any points at all, Sonia?
you need. If you're a fan of your team, you need to be excited about it. I don't put that past her for anything. You're up. I always pick the Lions, even though sometimes I don't think the Lions are going to win the game. But I always pick them. And James, you basically do
have to take your team. You have to take
in your mind now. You're doing that. You're picking against your team, but really you want the Saints to win every time. So, and
of course, everybody wants the team to win, but I'm not. I'm in a pick 'em, man. I gotta be realistic now.
See, last 2 years I took the Patriots every week, which is why I didn't finish very well.
We're all honest, Sonia, about our teams because we see our teams. Can't always pick your team because you think they're gonna win, and then you decide, I see about the doubters and stuff like that. Well, you pick your team all the time. Yeah, I guess you can say that.
Listen, nobody's ever accused me of wearing rose-colored glasses when it comes to any of my teams. People are calling me out for being too hard on them all the time.
Yep. That's how I am with the Lions.
When I see good stuff, I talk about good stuff, and I'll tell you what's bad too. I don't just talk about good, if you notice, and I know. Sonia, you do. Sorry.
Well, at this juncture for the Saints,
I
want them. I want them to lose out. I want the number 1 overall pick, and there's a lot you can do with that. You can either trade down, or you can take the best player. So I definitely want the number one pick at this juncture.
Well, all I gotta say, Sonya, now that you're not an underdog in this game, don't go out there and lay an egg. I'm just telling you that right now.
Oh, that'd be devastating, wouldn't it?
Oh, Sonya wouldn't be on there for
The
weeks.
silence would be deafening.
You got faith in your team. I like that, Robert. I don't think
Should. Everybody should. You should be excited. Want your team to do well.
Especially if you're playing as well as you are, yeah. But anyway, on that note, we are bidding everybody adieu. Have a very good rest of your week. And tomorrow is Thursday Night Football. I forgot who's playing tomorrow, to tell you the truth.
I think it's another
Thursday Night
crappy
Football.
game.
Yeah, it's another
crap game.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
It's a crap game.
Yeah.
Crappy game. There you go. That's our Thursday night game, the crappy game. And then we have college football Saturday. And, of course, we got NBA and the NHL in full swing, too. And the NCAA has kicked off both the women's and the men's season. So, full sports. Oh, man.
Shout out to OKC for being 8-0. They are without their second best player.
We'll talk basketball eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, that's coming up. Yeah.
In June of next year.
And we're undefeated too, by time and whatever. So everybody have a good evening.
Time's undefeated.
James, time is undefeated. There you go.
I'll see you guys
Everybody
later.
have a good evening.
See you Sunday.
Sir.
All right.
Peace.